think the girls are gonna come home?
Just. Yeah, they're on their way. They'll be here about 8.
Oh, okay.
We're live.
Sorry.
That's okay. Jason, how are you? I'm just gonna give it a few seconds, let a few people come in here. First off, let's get that back live there. And let me pull this up so I can see it. Alright, there we go. Well, first off, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. The girls decided to go out and do a little shopping, so I wanted to go through this Witchborn thing, and I was looking at it, and as you can see right now, they've got 55 backers and at 22,000, so they already met their goal with 10 days to go. Well, let's see if we can push them over the top. Now, you're going to learn this stuff as I'm going to learn it and figure it out, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and plug along. Just setting up the Christmas decorations, aren't we all? Let's see. So the one thing I want to show you, just to give you a quick overview, is the actual video that they have, which is kind of neat.
Is only the beginning.
The Witchborn first launched on Kickstarter.
Now enthusiastic fan,
Oops.
they're shaping where we're taking you next. Most ask me for one thing.
Miniatures.
Reaper makes our favorites.
And now we can offer you figures from their Bones line.
Start an elf for Dwarf War Clan, plus get the monsters you need to enter Perdition. Paint them or leave them plain. They're gorgeous and really durable.
Miniatures are just part of what you get in the box. For the first time, printed rules, adventures, and accessories are all inside.
Each War Clan gets its own guide with tons of background info. Ride into battle on a cave bear. Cast fairy magic. Master the martial arts. Play barbarian shapeshifters. Rule elves and men once more. Slay Witchborn.
The quick start rules get you playing fast, and the campaign rules cover your continuing adventures.
I missed.
Play in a never-ending campaign where your warriors can level up and become dominant heroes. The unique roster tracks treasures, weapons, and new skills your warriors earn.
Every Witchborn adventure comes with a gorgeous battle map.
Plus the adventure guide and app so you can play where the story matters. And any one of your guys towards that discovery. Okay, so she made the first discovery of the game. Every adventure comes with its own app. That is Zach there. You can't see it, but on the zoomed in shot, you can't see it. Actually, is Aaron's going to read to you what characters see and hear there.
A hawk claims to strip leathery flesh from a corpse baking in the sun, but it's Witchborn, sensing fresh blood as things travel closer to you.
This is our chair. Let's get surprise. Surprise. GM notes that we need, and then the stats for the critter are built right here.
So this is a new tip for you. This is what happens when you do the opposite of really good.
Your set includes tack dice, condition markers, templates, plus all these other accessories, and all the Reaper Bones minis.
The Witchborn is an open world, with all kinds of adventures for your war clan to explore.
Witchborn Sir Ashes slacks and stacking.
Brawl in the world's last standing tavern. Escape the wandering forest.
Don't do it.
Brave the wailing citadel.
He's evil! He's trying to kill me!
Or rescue a kidnapped girl and save the world.
In case something terrible happens, which I know it will.
Here's where you as a Kickstarter backer come in.
With enough backers, we share a volume discount on the books, dice, even the miniatures. As we exceed stretch goals, we'll keep adding more.
Make your pledge now so we can all enter Perdition together.
Join a growing group of players who just can't get enough. For the Witchborn, death is only the beginning.
Alright, I'm going to stop that right there. Pretty neat video. I started going through things a little bit, and you could see as I'm going through this that they estimate that they'll get this out in August of 2017, which is right around Gen Con time. It's a nice little box set, and the key is the figures, because you really need to have the figures with this. So by putting your different type of pledges, you can add the miniatures and so forth and so on. So we're going to take a look at some things, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to back out of this. As you see, I have some of my cool stuff on here. So you're looking at actually at my iPad. I hooked it up to a monitor, so we could just go over this because if you run it off the phone, it's too small to show you guys on the actual on the camera. So I wanted to try to get this so at least you guys can see somewhat what's going on. They have the chase, which is right here. As you can see, this is the map that I'm going to show you in a few minutes when I back out the camera. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be sideways because the app is only set for a phone, but so you can't project it onto a monitor. But on your iPad, it looks just fine. Oops. Okay, I'll just show you guys right there like that, so you guys have an idea of what's going on here. I actually unplugged my power, so just give me a second here. It's nice and quiet in here. Everybody ate, so they took off. So you would hit draw, and as you can see, there's all kinds of different really cool text and things that can happen. And we'll explain this a little farther as we go along. And I really think this is kind of really neat because your opponent gets to read the GM notes, which are right here on the bottom here, the GM notes, and only they know what happened. So they'll read you the top. So like for this, for instance, redraw if discovered is a flyer. Okay, so your ankle twist, you lurch, you falling onto your belly. You notice a vast plain is riddled with holes. If it's as if some mad treasure hunter were let loose. A prairie dog pokes its head up, following another. Suddenly, it's clear who the madman is. So now that's all you know, and the GM actually knows what happens here. So there's different types of things that would happen. So there's all kinds of different things that would happen, and it's really kind of a really neat system. Now, if you take a wound, you would draw a wound card. So it's almost like a wound card. And then, oh, okay, that's what would happen. Okay, you would get knocked out. Or if you fail the roll, okay, which they call it whoops. Okay, say you were in a melee attack and you missed. Your armor splits up the back to reveal your bottom in all of its beefy glory. Your warrior's turn ends. His torn armor loses its defense bonus. If unarmed, roll an injury outcome instead. So there's a lot of different things that can happen. If it was a missile attack, if it was a magic attack. And of course I'm trying to show you this the best I can. So I'm going to back out of this, and what we're really going to do, there we go, is we're going to back out a bit, and then we're going to go over the rules and take a look at this map. And I really want you to take a look at this map. This map is for what they call the chase. So we're going to back out. So I apologize for the movement of the camera, but hey, we're trying to do a lot of cool different things all at once here. All right. So I was able to print off they sent me the map, which was very nice of them. Along with it came these dice, which I'll explain to you as we go over in a minute. And these are nice solid dice, laser cut, and they're a bit different. And then of course we have some of these other dice here, which are really kind of neat, which only have, it looks like it has just a couple markings, but we'll learn about that very shortly. And 2d6. These are markers to mark your war clans. These are actually miniatures I just happen to have because I had nothing painted. So the Reaper miniatures are not available as of this moment. So why don't we take a look at this and just kind of go over some of the things that happen on here. First of all, this map came rolled up in a pretty big, oh, hold on. Is this like those fighting fantasy books by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone, The Warlock of the Fire Top Mountain? No, not at all, Dave. This is something totally different. It's actually a miniature war game, where you can level up your clans. So, we'll talk a little. You choose your war clan and you go through these adventures, and they have different types of scenarios. Now, I was able to print out some of it. And this is the Crash, which, the Crash, yes, this is the Crash, and it actually plays on this very map, as you can see. So this map is the map that we have laid out here, and this is a really good size map. But you want to talk about quality maps. I mean, you're not going to find a much better quality map. I mean, this was rolled up, sent to me, and then I just laid it on the table, and it doesn't pop up. It doesn't. It's made of that material where once it hits the table, it stays flat. And I gotta admit, it's really pretty neat. It's like instant battlefield, and that's what makes it kind of cool. Now, of course, all I have is the miniatures that I happen to have, and I had nothing really painted. Everything else is kind of under production and stuff like that, or put away out into the dungeon. So we're just gonna do the best we can and just kind of talk through things a bit and work our way through this. So just give me a second here. I just want to, I think I want to zoom in a little bit more so you guys get a little bit better look. So bear with me a second here as we're gonna try to zoom in a bit. There we go. Let's try it again. Alright, there we go. We got zoom in there. And we're just going to adjust the camera just a hair. No, that's not going to do it. It'll be fine right there. Alright. So I wanted to give you an overview look so you can see the actual actual battlefield and the map. Alright, let me just adjust this. Isn't this fun doing this live? I'd rather do it live, that way if you have questions and anybody, sees it, it just helps a lot more. It really does, doing things live. If I just give you some kind of preview, because you guys are learning about the same time I am, and I think that's what makes it, just a hell of a lot better, is to learn as you guys learn. And that way if you guys have questions and stuff like that, and if I'm confused about something, guess what, so are you. Alright, now as we open this up a bit, okay, so the whole backstory is, and I'm going to read this out to you, and we're going to go over this, and I'm not going to go over every rule. I'm just going to try to give you guys a real good basis, and then you guys can go over to the Witchborn Kickstarter and really take a look and see if this is something that's for you guys. Okay, so the Witchborn. The dead isn't dead, not anymore. Since Cataclysm, the world teems with revenants returned from the dead. These monsters are the Witchborn. Enter Perdition to square off against the bloodthirsty Witchborn. Learn how the game plays, and how adventures shape who your warrior becomes. So again, what happens is your warrior levels up. Now, they got a really neat little ruler here, and I didn't cut it out, but this is the actual ruler, and how it works, it has a point blank range, a short range, so 1 to 4 is your point blank, and they have a little notch here, which is kind of interesting, and then from 5 to 8 is short, and then from 9 to 11 is long, and then the 1 is reach. So that is something that we'll learn, and then of course it has discovery markers and a lot of stuff that you'll point out. So the other thing that it tells you to do is that you're going to want to get the actual app for it. So that's easy to do. You just go on to any kind of if you have an Apple device or an Apple phone or anything like that, You can download it. I'm not sure if it also is for Verizon or Windows. I assume it's for Windows, but I believe that you can download it. It says download your Quick Start app at witchborn.com, so I would assume that you can have it for Windows as well, which is really important because you just don't want it to be kind of like how it was for that game there, Gollum Arcana, where for a while there it was only for Apple. So it talks about how you want to have your representatives of your clan, and that's where the Reaper models will come in. Okay, so let's take a look at this. What you do is you get these sheets here, which are like this, the Burning Sky Clan. Okay, I'm going to show this off to you pretty good, and it has all the stats and everything that you're going to need for things. Now, your roster, you can put your own roster together, okay, and it'll tell you what it gives you everything that you need on a card, which is kind of cool. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you'll see on this card, and I'm just going to kind of go over some of the numbers. Okay, your defense is your first number, so here you would have a 10 for a defense. Then a strength of 4, an agility number, which is 4, a psych number, which is 3, and then your speed, which is your movement speed, of course. Then it will list all the different weapons that you have and how many attacks it makes. Now, attacks are how many dice. So if it says 1 attack, you would roll 1 dice. If it says 2 attacks, you roll 2 dice. The more attacks, of course, the better chance that you have of hitting. So that's interesting. It also gives you, which I think is kind of cool, it numbers off so each card would have a number on it, and you would make sure that number correlates with a base of a particular miniature. So it's pretty much. So let's see what defense, what all these stats do. Okay, defense: withstands swords, slashes, bow shots, and eldritch fire. Improve this score with armor, skills, and artifacts. So you can make that number even better. Strength: succeeds in melees and feats of strength like forcing open doors. Agility: be accurate with missiles, climb, or evade. Okay, it has a route number. Route is the minimum number to roll on a d6 for a route feat to succeed. So you would have to roll over that number. Psych is intelligence and courage. Warriors with high psych are less likely to be routed. So the higher your psychology number, the less likely you are to rout on a d6. Speed, the distance is the distance your warrior moves each turn. So with that ruler that we had, that would be as far as you would go. So these are, pretty much basic stats and so forth and so on. There is a small number here that says charge. Charge is the distance your warrior can move and still attack. So if you have a speed of 7, you can move 4 and still attack. But if you move your full speed of 7, you cannot attack. All right. The distance is measured in paces, okay, and that's what that whole thing we were looking at here. Let me just get this a little more organized. Again, we're doing this live, so as always, are we having dropping frames? No, I'm just making sure. Oh, there we go. No, we're still all right. Okay. I don't know, the internet's been a real pain in the neck lately. It has to have to do something with the holidays. So each one of these are paces. So more or less inches. So you measure everything on an 11-inch die there. All right, movement speed measures the number of paces your warrior moves each turn. Willow pictured in previous page. Okay, that we looked at. Moves up to 7 paces per turn. Decide whether he moves the entire distance or just a portion. Move straight, backwards, sideways, diagonal, any combination. So you can take and move any combination of things that you want to move with your particular thing. So if you decide you want to move the full 7, you can move it that way. You can go backwards, or you can go backwards 7. It's however you want to do it. So there's a lot of different things you can evade. You can reach, fatigue. Reach is how far your warrior can extend his arms to whack somebody. So that's in a melee combat, and that's where this little reach dial comes, because that's where you would measure the reach. So that's kind of interesting, because it actually gives you, if your model's here and that model's here, you can say, or just outside that, well, I want to do melee combat with you. Well, you can't. You have to be within this distance, which is basically pretty much just 1 inch. It looks like a little bit more than 1 inch, to be honest with you. All right, line of sight. It talks about line of sight on the map. Now the map is, has some stones here, so you cannot draw a line through the stone. So it's basically how this map all works together. And there are different maps. They had like a city map I saw, and that would all come into play as far as line of sight. Feat strengths, riders, we're not going to worry about that. I guess the real thing is to take a look and see what combat's all about. Combat takes 2 forms. First is melee attack, which is the chance to bash in your opponent's brains. Well, you got to love that. Anytime that you can hit somebody with a nice huge rock or spear or dagger or whatever you can find to whack them in the head, that's a pretty good thing. Missiles include anything you hurl at an enemy from a distance, a dagger, a spear, a bludgeon. Missiles also include bows and crossbows. An attack is a series of simple steps. Target opponent, get dice, roll, damage feat, injury, outcome, wound. Steps play out a little differently whether for melee or missile combats. On the following pages, melee specific are separated in red and missiles specifics are in blue. Okay, well, let's take a look here, because I'm kind of curious on how, because usually this really tells you how a game really comes together. Decide who your warrior is attacking. So let's just take this guy here, and he's going to decide that he's going to attack this certain individual right there. Okay, this is target an opponent within reach. So again, that's where we want to make sure that they're within this reach range, and obviously they are. Alright. Use the notch on the bottom of the combat ruler to measure, just like we just talked about. Start within a reach, charge, move, sprint closer, but this means no attack this turn. If more than one opponent is within reach, declare which one you're going to bash. So, of course, if you had 2 people within your reach right here like this, you would have to decide which one you're going to hit. So, you always get at least 1 attack die. Okay, 2 dice are common. The more dice, the better the odds of hitting. So let's take a look at Willow here. Willow has a bludgeon, which is 1 attack and does 1 damage. Okay. All right. So that seems pretty easy to figure out. All right. Then we move up to the next thing. You always get 1 attack dice. Add 1 die if your warrior strength is greater than the opponent. So it's that almost is kind of like a Blood Bowl type of thing. So if we took Willow, for instance, who has a strength of 2, trying to hit one of well, thank you, Gabby, for the nice moan. It must means I'm doing a great job. Is going to hit Snow Wolf here, who has a strength of 4. Willow has a less strength than Snow Wolf, so you would still get the 1 attack die. But if Snow Wolf, let's just declare that this guy was Snow Wolf, okay, was going to hit we'll call this Willow, he has a 4 strength, Willow has a 2 strength, so he would get an additional die. Okay? Equal or lower strength means no bonus. The melee attack dice table provides a quick summary. Modifiers by the situation. Add dice if the opponent is knocked down. Oh, wow. So you can hit somebody that's knocked down or stunned. So let's gather up our dice here. Okay, get rolling. Determine if your warrior brings the full weight of his warhammer down upon his opponent's skull or whiffs empty air. Roll the dice from step 2. Use only the most favorable dice result. Compare your result to the hit location to see if your attack hits or miss. So there's a little chart here on each side, which is really kind of neat here, because if you hit somebody, there's a couple things that can happen. If you roll a 1, so I believe these dice you would roll. And let me just double check here. Staggered, stunned, shaken. Okay. Let's talk about these. Alright. I'm just checking these dice out before I explain them. And of course they're not going to tell me exactly what they do. So, okay. Alright. So if you hit here, the person is staggered, dazed and slurred. If you hit with this, they are stunned. If you hit with this, they're disarmed. Question mark, they are shaken. Strike last, uninjured but tired from sprinting or busy investigating discovery. Huh? Okay, hold on. I think I goofed up here. Oh, wow. And then there's a... If I can find it, there should be a skull on here, too. Okay, no. Oh, okay. Alright. So... These are the dice that you roll to see if you hit. Okay. Sorry about that. I got a little confused with the dice there. So, let's see what happens here. Alright, so you would roll. Okay, so actually, that's something else. These are for during an adventure. So rolling a melee, I'm sorry. You would roll a d6. So you would get your dice and you would roll it. So let's just say that they had 1 dice. So he rolls a 1. That's an oops. It's a grave mistake by your warrior. It could break his weapon, hurt a comrade, deplete ammo, or more. You rolling an oops, see below. Alright, so let's go over it. Rolling an oops. Your warrior might snap a weapon, accidentally shoot a comrade, get butterfingers at a critical time. Now this is where the app would come in. So let's pull it up on my phone so we can see what would happen. So on this particular point, let's get the girls off. And we're going to go into here. So for instance, alright, so you would have this thing that says oops. Let's see if we can get this to come in pretty good. Actually, we're going to use it on our actual tablet here because it'll actually look a lot better. So let's get to the quick start guy. There we go. That's a little bit better. So we would go to oops. It was a melee. So here's what happened. Your opponent knocks your legs out from under you. He really he's really an excellent fighter. Maybe he'll give you lessons. Result: knock down your warrior. His turn ends. Roll a d6 plus 0 for damage feat. If you were a rider, then we would apply this. So what would happen is you would see what would happen on the damage table. So you would knock down, and then we would roll on the damage table, which cannot be very good. So let's go to the damage table. And I know I saw that. Bum, bum. So this has some interesting mechanics in it. And I'm really, okay, here we go. Injury and outcome. Okay. Check the injury outcome table at the right. Okay, so you would roll a d6. And we rolled a 1. So he staggered. Okay, dazed and slowed. So I think you would mark him with that dice, more or less. Wow. Staggered, dazed and slowed. Next turn, remove your warrior's condition marker and take turn as normal. So he would miss virtually an entire turn. Wow. That's pretty nasty. Now, if you rolled a 4 or 5, you would be stunned. If you rolled a 6, you were wounded. So it's kind of hard to kill these guys. And when you're wounded, well, how many wounds do you get? That's interesting too. So this is a pretty interesting system, and the same thing pretty much works with a missile. With the missiles as well. Critical hits add 1 to your damage, so there's a way to do critical hits. On that damage chart, it goes like this: 1 is an oops, 2 or 3 is a miss, fails to connect at all. 4, a parried hit, slams the offhand side of your opponent's body. He hits without the parry skill to divert it. 5. On a 5, a shield hit strikes your opponent, non-weapon side. He's hit unless he has the shield skill to block it. And then 6 is a critical. Nails your opponent in the breast, head, or vital organs. Well, that's not good. Wow. Okay, so a stunned opponent is easy to finish off in melee with a +5 modifier. Okay, just because you hit someone doesn't mean you've hurt them. Roll a damage feat to tell if the blow leaves a mark or just glances off. Roll a d6, add your damage modifiers. Okay, a natural 6 always succeeds, a natural 1 always fails. In either case, there is no need to add appliers. You fail when your modified roll ties or is lower than the opponent's defense score. Your attack glances off or absorbed by his armor. Your armor ends here. You succeed if your modified roll is higher than the opponent's defense score. You got through his armor, but you're not done yet. Okay, that's where we come with this. Make it hurt. Once your opponent hits and damages, once your warrior hits and damages an opponent, roll an injury outcome. Did you wing him, or is he joining the ranks of the Witchborn? Okay, roll a d6. Check the injury outcome table at the right. Okay, that's where we talked about staggered, stunned. Pile on. If your opponent is already staggered or stunned, it is easier to wound him. Make a wound ends. The opposing warrior's game, maybe permanently. Okay, example, Krug. Let's just call him Krug because he's actually an orc anyways. Krug is staggered. He is hit and damaged again before he can recover. Any injury outcome of 1 to 5 stuns him. now instead of 4 or 5. He's in real trouble. Warriors and creatures you encounter don't have a score for health or hit points. Okay. Instead, condition markers track injury, mental state, fatigue, and battle readiness. Ah, wow, that's really interesting. Templates depict 6 states found at the end of this guide. By placing a template under your warrior's model, it is clear indication to all his physical and mental states. So here's all the markers that I was talking about. Okay, go to step 6. Wound. This is going to sting. Okay, read the wound results aloud. So you would go to the app and you would hit that wound marker. So again, let's do it on the app again and show you what would happen if we did get a wound on a guy. I want to make sure you guys see this. All right. Okay, so if we went to wounds, it would come up wound, and then you would draw a wound. So say we wound the guy, boom, knockout. You're flat on your back when when you project vomit. The warm spray gently settles. It's kind of like drinking night with the boys. Results: if your foe is within reach, he steals everything in your armor slot. Looks like you could use a cold one. Wow. So there's all kinds of different things. Okay, that's knockout, 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 maimed, knockout. As you can see, they're not too bad. Maimed, your opponent does a number on your face, but stops short of kicking in your teeth. At least chicks dig scars. Heal this now or become so timid you get the coward trait. Fairies only miss next adventure. Comrades with short range. Really neat. I think this is really kind of cool. Because the app pretty much determines everything. I mean, you can end up completely dead. I saw one that said you were dead. Let's see what else we have here. Knocked out. War wound. You're an excellent leader. Yeah. Wow. Another war wound. Maimed. So they have all kinds of different results that'll do all kinds of different things. That's pretty cool. All right, let's pull that up, pull that up, pull that up, pull that up. So then you would go to the chase, and it would be the same thing. You would pull up your wounds, and of course, maimed, war wound, pulverized. Wow. Start a new game. Yes. Chase the discoveries. So this is how you just go through this whole thing. Really interesting. It all coincides with this map, and everything gets marked off with these cubes. So let's take a look at the crash real quick while we're here. How long have we been on? 39 minutes? Oh, hey Sean, happy Thanksgiving. We're just kind of going through this very quickly, the Witchborn. Like I showed everybody before, if you go to their website, I mean, if you go to the Kickstarter, check it out. They funded, it looks like, but it'd be nice if they can, you know, they were nice enough to sign. I mean, this map is absolutely gorgeous, and if they're using Reaper Minis, this is really going to be something interesting. I'd really like to see what the final box turns out. So I was able to download and print out, before everything kind of got a little crazy, this right here, which is the... Rob, did you pick up Shadows of the Past? Has sold me on that game. It's awesome. No, I have not, to be honest with you. So, right here is a short adventure that they had put together, and if you go to their website, well, they were able to give me access into this. Let's be honest, I should know better. I don't think you'd be able to get your hands on this, but they do. If you go to the Kickstarter, there's a lot of really neat things that you can really take a look at. So this is from 2 to 3 players, and you would build up your roster and set up the map. And as you can see, you would have different areas, which is kind of neat. I don't want to ruin it for anybody either. This is about the airship cargo. So they have all these really, really cool different things that you can do. Artifacts, armor. This is really something. This is really something that I think a lot of you guys that may have, don't stop now, hold on, with complete rules, build your own war clans and try a variety of exciting adventures. Witchborn rules reveal much more about combat, the 6 different war clans, their equipment and skills. Every adventure has tons of variety and tougher challenges, exotic locales, and yes, more Witchborn to slaughter. Very cool, and you can see all these gorgeous maps. This map here is just absolutely something else. I mean, it's really, really beautiful. And it explains, oh, there's a king snake on here? Oh, where? I have to look now. Because I see the okay. What are they doing? Battle map keys. See, now it's got my curiosity. Because this map is like incredibly detailed. And it's really got some bite to it, so things just don't slide all over it. So it's really something else. And I'm just looking around. I wanted to see one of the things that they said was here. Alright, the standing stones, which I have right here. It gives you all your different skills. It breaks down. So this really comes all together. Now here is one of the Icewind, the dwarves. So if you had some dwarf models, you would be able to play with these guys. And they're part of this scenario, so they're actually pretty cool. One guy's called Payback. Then it looks like you have elves. Oh, yep, sure enough, Leaves of the Falling, elves. And it gives you their value, how much they're worth. These guys are 60, these guys are 60. It gives you, it looks like rats. They almost look like Skaven in a way. The Dunwolf, which would be the Norn, yeah. Orcs, you could play with orcs. So you would have 3 figures and they would be part of your war band, or war clan, excuse me. Paladins. And then they show you how the map actually all comes together. Now, that's not the same as this map. Oops. You can actually put the map together yourself if you wanted to. Very cool. Oh, this is the chase. Oh, I downloaded a couple of them. Okay, the chase. So basically, I'm going to go a little farther. I'm sorry, I did not. So this is the map that I have here, as you can see. Puma, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Okay, the chase is perfect for new players or players with inexperienced war clans. Worth 300 points or less. Another tougher story option at the end of this guide allows for a cooperative game. Very cool. Alright, of course you would download the app, like we've talked about. Okay, the shadow points. Your discovered earns 1 to 3 of the discovery. Your opponent pushes draw and reads the title aloud. So that's what we were showing before. GM notes, the opposing player keeps these to himself. They explain how to resolve the encounter. He should not read these aloud. Okay. Go back button, scroll down, creature statistics. So when you fight something, see, you switch off being the GM. So you're the GM against one player and the player is the GM against the other player. That's pretty neat. Okay. The airship cargo, the abandoned air cargo. So it tells you how to play this all out. So we're not going to go in that too far. There's there's that king snake again. I wanted to see where that king snake is. I know he's out here somewhere. Very cool. You win when one of your warriors carries the airship cargo off the battle map. Other war clans lose. Read the text below to winning the player game. So, okay, so if you win, you would get a certain amount of shadow points. Shadow points split among warriors. All right, very cool. War clans up to 199. Okay, so you would find your war clan below and roll 2d6 for your bounty. Each is a unique. So they have all kinds of different things that you can end up for bounties and things like that. So there's all kinds of different types of amulets and armors, and I mean, this is just very, very well put together, to put it in a nutshell. Is this Kickstarter just for the rules and the map, or do the minis come with it too? Yes, the minis come with it as well. You will be getting the Reaper minis through the Kickstarter. Matter of fact, I will go back up and we'll go through, since we kind of went through kind of everything that I have here, but I want to kind of go back to the actual site there, and we'll take a look at a few things while we're here. So I'm going to move this camera one more time, and we are going to go push that up there a bit. Let me adjust the light so it's not blaring. There we go. All right, perfect. So let's take a look at this in pretty much depth. All right. And where did we want to go? Okay, let's go right to the Kickstarter page. And as you can see, they just funded, so you know, congratulations to them. I played this video earlier. You can see it if you go to the beginning of this once it loads up. And Black Friday stretch goal is unlocked. Look at that. Okay, get everything pictured for only $145, over 325 retail. So you would get all those miniatures that are there. You would get, and they're all Reaper miniatures. So let's take a look. For $25, add miniatures, rules, expansion, adventures, and other accessories by pledging at least $25. Scroll to see the full list. Well, let's take a look at the $45 one. Oops. Hold on. Okay, so you would get, for $145, you would get 32 Reaper miniatures. You would get the Ender Perdition Adventure 46 by 39 battle map and the app for the Android or the iOS. 6 War Clan books with everything about dwarves, elves, guilds, Norns, orcs, paladins, war clans, and so forth and so on. 140-page campaign rules. Books cover war clan building. It shows you everything, unfortunately, that I did not get my hands on. You would get 3 attack dice, 2 matching d6, tracking health with 9 condition markers, mixing cup and chits for a unique turn system, quick start rules and the app to get playing faster, 75 templates for your continued campaign, applicable stretch goals. So that's the big boy right there. Now, 250 would get you even more. And let's take a look at this. So you would get the Elven clan, which looks pretty nice. Going to get my son some Reaper minis as stocking stuffers. Good call, Poon. Dwarven clan, they look really nice. The Plains denizens. And then here's all the maps and stuff like that that you would get. You get the roster sheets. These are injury track markers, mental state, and battle readiness. That's what those that I was talking about. That's what those dice were. All these cutouts, which I actually have some of these templates. Alright, let's see what else is. So they have all kinds of different other stuff that would pertain to this. So it's a neat little system, and as it gets going, you know, there's going to be more, but you'll be able to add whatever miniatures you want into it. So, like, this map is really neat. I mean, look at the Asylum map. Let's see if we can pull that up. Wailing Citadel, that looks pretty good. Searchers, Battle Tombs. Pretty interesting. This award-winning painter, he's lent his talents. Isn't that me? Oh, kidding. All right, really kind of neat how it all plays out, and the app is really pretty interesting, I have to say. Now it's sideways because, unfortunately, I have it up on the screen here, but you're able to download it onto your iPad, but you would have to turn it sideways. It doesn't adjust, as you can see. Because it's basically meant for a phone. But if you want to draw a different thing, all you do is hit that draw button. You can go back up here. You can go start a new game if you want. See how that all turns out. And they have different things that you can download right now to even take a look at it. Like the quick start here. You know, you want it to do something. There's the all the stats for the enemies. Now here's where we were talking about defense, strength, agility, psyche, the route number down on the bottom, speed, that's how fast you move. Wait a minute, can you guys even see that? Alright, it doesn't look like it's coming through that good. Oh, sorry about that. Here, let me adjust this a little bit. I don't know why it got dark all of a sudden. Oh well, on the bottom there. Oh, there we go. It's kind of flashing in and out. That's kind of weird. Those minis look 3D printed prototypes. I didn't know Reaper did it that way. Well, maybe it was just yeah, maybe they were prototypes. I know I didn't get any of the minis in here to check out. So let's just go back to that. Okay, there we go. Let's try it that way. Okay, maybe it looks better that way. No. No, it's just not working that way. It was a good idea. But nevertheless, the whole point is that, let me just turn this around so you guys can see me as I finish this up. Not that you guys want to look at me any. So, in a nutshell, okay, with all the different things, it's an interesting system. The map is really good quality. I like the marker dice. I kind of like the wound system and everything like that. I like how you kind of figure out how somebody gets banged up a bit, and even though they took a hit, they could kind of keep going. It has a little bit of a Blood Bowl feel, like especially somebody gets knocked out, or they get wounded, or maybe they don't move as far. So there's a lot of different things about it. I do like that kind of feel about it, and I do think some of these adventure games need that kind of stuff, especially for a miniature game. I think they're onto the right way of going about things here, to be honest with you. Would I like to see more minis on it? Yeah, absolutely. It's funded, so let's see how it turns out. I'm curious. I like to give this a good playthrough and take a look at it. I like to get my hands on the minis and everything that comes with the box set. You know, I'm not, it looks awesome. Oh, let me just answer this. It looks awesome, but I don't think I can afford that price point. I recommend to those that can, maybe a box of goodness prize. Yeah, you never know. It might end up in the box of goodness. Um, it looks like there's more to it, and of course I didn't cover everything as much as I would have liked to with the amount of time that I thought we had. I may come back to this after I read a little bit farther, but I really kind of wanted to get this up, especially since I was supposed to do this on Tuesday, and just kind of go over it and look at it at the same time as I discover it, you guys discover it. And I think that's a neat little thing to do. The whole point is that, you know, again, you know, I'm not being paid to do this or anything like that. I'm doing this because, you know, the guy came to me because he knew Ian, you know, little Ian that I've done painting, and he said, hey, they suggested I take a look at this. So I decided to take a look at this the same time that you do. Do I want them to be successful and fun and go above their stretch goals? Absolutely. I want everybody that has a good game to do that. And I think this is a good system. I think this is something that's kind of interesting. And I don't think the $145 price point that's for like a whole bunch of stuff. I think you can get in a lot cheaper. Go to the website. I'm gonna actually put the Kickstarter on the bottom of this video and what it is, and you guys can kind of figure it from there. Oh, I got a hate on this already. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. So I think it's very interesting. I think there's a lot that can be done with this. I think this will grow. I think it's something that, you know, if you're a Kickstarter backer and like to back things on Kickstarter, I think it's something that'd be real interesting. For me, I'm not a Kickstarter guy, but this does have my interest. If this does have a chance of coming retail, I think I would pick it up and really give it a good go. Now we'll come back and visit this in a couple days. I think after we do a few more things and take a look at it. I had some time tonight, so I thought it'd be fun to take a look at it and kind of just work my way through the rules a bit and talk it out. I always enjoy doing that, especially with you guys in the audience there. So that's what I have to say about this so far. So I'll leave the comments. Go to Kickstarter, look up Witchborn, take a good look at it. It just might be for you. I think you can get in for like 25 bucks. I think it's you know, a win for you. The app is free, so you get to download that. So I just don't think you can really go wrong with this. You know, I just don't think there's really a negative side to it. It's really kind of interesting how it works, and I'm really going to read through it even farther because it's got my interest. So let's see how it turns out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, it was a little clunky, but you know, that's the way reading rules are sometimes. They're clunky, and I figure I discovered it at the same time you guys did. So we may be Gabby. She was just outside playing a while ago. So anyways, that's it. I like doing things live like this. I think it's always enjoyable. I don't know if we're going to be playing anything tonight. It depends what time they went Black Friday shopping. You know, after we ate all that food, they're going to run around the store. The queen of all reality loves the shop, and Janice just got sucked in there, and Mimi went, and it's just me, the boy, and the two dogs. So I figured I'd knock this out. We were actually going to do something. We might do something. It's only 8:30, but I think we might save it for tomorrow when we can really give you guys a good go, because we want to do that Mare Nostrum. We're really looking forward to it. But tomorrow's definitely a 3-game day. So with that said, I hope this helps you. I hope this points you in the right direction. I hope you guys go check out Witchborn and see what's up with it. For me, it's got my curiosity quite a bit. So that's it for tonight. We will talk to you later. Thanks for watching this, guys.